Yu-Gi-Oh has become a top trading card game and still is. Duelists have been playing the game for 20 years and have been keeping an eye on new cards to formulate new strategies. In this series, we will reflect on each booster pack release and the impact they have on the game. This is the first episode of the series. This is really cool. On March 8, 2002, Konami introduced the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card Game by releasing its first set of booster packs, Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Its cover art is one of the most iconic monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! The Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes White Dragon is a level 8 light attribute normal dragon type monster with 3,000 attack points and 2,500 defense points. Blue Eyes White Dragon has the highest attack points among normal monsters even until today in the modern Yu-Gi-Oh! It is the legendary in the TCG coming out of anime. This is the favorite card of Seto Kaiba, Yuki's rival in the anime series. It has a similarity to its anime rivals' monster cards because of its 3,000 attack points. Chaz Princeton's Armed Dragon level 10, Jack Atlas Red Dragon Archfiend, Kite Tenjo's Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon, Declan Akaba's DDD Doom King Armageddon, and Varys Borrello Dragon. This monster card also kicks off the anime protagonist's form of solving how to duel against a monster of 3,000 attack in their very first duel of the series, and coming out victorious by beating said monsters. Jaden beating Ancient Gear Golem, Yusei beating Montage Dragon, Yuma beating Leviathan Dragon, Yuya beating Battle Guard King, Yusaku beating Cracking Dragon, and the very first ever Yugi beating Blue Eyes White Dragon. The legend begins with a mysterious Blue Eyes woman named Kisara, who carries the spirit of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. From the final season of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monster series, this is foretold when Yugi is transported back to his ancient past in Egypt. The ancient priest Seto realized the White Dragon's enormous power inside the girl. There is one event when Priest Seto was kidnapped and got mind controlled. Kisara was able to save him, although she died taking a blow originally meant for Seto. Before dying, she used her Blue Eye spirit to rescue Seto and became the new keeper of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is the basis of modern-day Seto Kaiba's obsession with the monster, thus forming the legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes White Dragon did not have much relevance in competitive duels when it was released in 2002, but it made its mark in 2016 when the two Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship finalists used decks centered on the Blue Eyes archetype, which includes the Blue Eyes White Dragon, forming the legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon in the competitive scene. The monster card that rivaled it in the anime is the Dark Magician, the favorite monster of Seto Kaiba's rival, Yugi. It's a level 7 Dark Attribute normal spellcaster monster with 2,500 attack points. This card's attack of 2,500 established the attack value of the other Yu-Gi-Oh! Series protagonists' ace cards, which includes Elemental Hero Neos from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Stardust Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Number 39 Utopia from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and Firewall Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. The Dark Magician is a favorite monster of Yugi, who is known for his phrase,
The heart of the cards.
Heart of the cards, guide me.
Heart of the Cards. That phrase is famous not only in the Yu-Gi-Oh circle, but in other card games as well.
Oh my god, the heart of the cards reverted!
As with Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician's legend has also been foretold from the final season of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monster series. Yugi suddenly discovered that his favorite monster was his loyal and steadfast friend when he was a pharaoh. Mahad is a high priest and the first ever wielder of the Millennium Ring, and he fought the ancient thief king Bakura. During the fight, despite acquiring great power, he sacrificed himself to infuse his spirit to form the Dark Magician. The triad of the signature cards will not be complete without the one from Yugi's best friend, Joey Wheeler. Red Eyes Black Dragon. This is the monster he got after he defeated Rex Raptor in the Duelist Kingdom tournament. In the original print of this card, it is named Red Eyes B Dragon. In the reprints, its name has been completed. This monster bears some resemblance to the major opponent of Samus in Metroid Prime, Ridley. In modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, summoning from the extra deck is the name of the game. Link Summoning, Xyz Summoning, Synchro Summoning, and Fusion Summoning. During the release of Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon, summoning from the extra deck already existed via Fusion Summoning. As in the anime, Fusion Summoning even existed during the Pharaoh's time. This reminds me of the fusion in Dragon Ball. Imagine if Konami collaborated with the Dragon Ball licensing party. That would be cool if we had two Saiyan cards and a Fusion Saiyan card. The spell card Polymerization exists in the booster. Polymerization in the anime is the symbol of the Obelisk Blue and other duelists from the Fusion dimension. There are 10 Fusion monsters available in the set. The two notable ones because of their popularity in the anime are Joey Wheeler's Flame Swordsman and Yugi's Gaia the Dragon Champion. Flame Swordsman is a level 5 fire attribute normal fusion warrior monster with 1,800 attack points and 1,600 defense points. It is the fusion of the Flame Manipulator and Masaki the Legendary Swordsman. It was Joey Wheeler's first favorite card until he got Red Eyes Black Dragon after beating Rex Raptor. The strongest fusion monster in the set is Gaia the Dragon Champion. It is a level 7 wind attribute normal fusion dragon monster with 2,600 attack points and 2,100 defense points. It is the fusion of Gaia the Fierce Knight and Curse of Dragon. It is the very first fusion monster summoned in Duel Monster series. Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes Black Dragon are iconic cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Among normal monster cards. In Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon set, there are 72 normal monsters. Time has drastically changed. When comparing it to the modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, normal monsters are not normally used. The modern booster pack Legendary Duelists Duels from Deep only contains one normal monster. When the Yugioh Trading Card Game was introduced, normal monsters were typically used in the deck. These are the most notable of the 72 normal monsters. First is the common card that is expected to be in most decks at the time, Skull Redbird. Skull Redbird is a level 4 wind attribute normal wing beast monster with 1,550 attack points and 1,200 defense points. Among all monsters that do not require any tribute, this one has the highest attack points. The second is the Spirit of the Harp. It is a level 4 light attribute normal fairy monster with 800 attack points and 2000 defense points. It is quite notable due to its high defense points. But she is not the only monster with those defense points. Mystical Elf is a spellcaster monster with the same level, attack, and defense points as the Spirit of the Harp. Mystical Elf is slightly better than Spirit of the Harp because the latter has a field spell at the time that can lower its stat. Aquamador is a level 4 water attribute normal spellcaster monster with 1200 attack points and 2000 defense points. And the best monster for stalling is Giant Soldier of Stone, which is a level 3 earth attribute normal rock monster with 1300 attack and 2000 defense points. Compared to Spirit of the Harp, Mystical Elf, and Aquamador, it has the highest attack points. If a duelist chooses to attack, he or she can deal more damage than those three. Surprisingly, in comparison to them, this is only a level 3. Next is Curse of Dragon. It is a level 5 dark attribute normal dragon monster with 2000 attack points and 1500 defense points. Among all the monsters that require one monster to tribute, this one has the highest attack points. There are other normal monster cards that are notable because they are either retrained, have counterparts in later booster sets, or become a part of a combo later on even though they are not useful by the time they are released. Skull Servant is a level 1 dark attribute normal zombie monster with 300 attack points and 200 defense points. This ill-famed card has been considered one of the worst monsters in the game, prompting Konami to create support cards for it later on. Gaia the Fierce Knight is a level 7 earth attribute normal warrior monster with 2300 attack points and 2100 defense points. At the time it was released, it was only important because it was a fusion material for Gaia the Dragon Champion, but an archetype was made with support cards for it in almost all of the Yu-Gi-Oh era. Celtic Guardian would be retrained, while Petite Angel and Mystical Ship No. 2 have their counterparts to be released later on. But of all the normal monsters, there are 4 that are created not to attack nor defend, but are vital in attaining a duelist's victory. The Exodia parts become valuable because of the effect monster Exodia the Forbidden One. It is a level 3 dark attribute effect spellcaster monster with 1000 attack points and defense points, which its effect triggers once you have all the Exodia parts in your hand. That lets you to automatically win the game. It is one of the most iconic cards in the franchise, being well known for its alternative win condition and Yugi's use of it in the first episode of the anime. Legend says Exodia's dismemberment appears to be a reference to the Egyptian god Osiris, who has been sealed away and dismembered by the god Set. All Exodia parts have kept the same status on the limited list longer than any other card in the game. They have all been limited since the list began. Exodia's head is one of the only 5 effect monsters available in the set. The other 4 in the set are flip effect monsters. Flip monsters have their effects activated at the same time once they are flipped, either by flip summon, having been attacked, or card effects that let them flip. The Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon has only a few effect monsters to choose from, and the ones useful universally are from the flip monsters. Reaper of the Cards is a level 5 dark attribute Flip Fiend monster that lets you destroy one trap card on the field. It is a terrible card that requires turns to activate its effect. Arm Ninja is a level 1 Earth Attribute Flip Warrior monster that lets you destroy one spell card on the field. The last two ones are ones considered useful. Hane Hane is a level 2 Earth Attribute Flip monster that lets you return one monster from the field to hand. And Man-Eater Bog, which is a level 2 Earth Attribute Flip monster that lets you destroy one monster. In comparison to modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, duelists at that time rely more on normal monsters. For these monsters to be stronger, equip spells and field spells are the support cards the booster set has. The equip spells in the set are all simple and can just be summarized as: a monster type equipped with this card increases its attack and defense by 300 points. The legendary sword for warriors like Kagemusha of the Blue Flame. Beast Fangs for beasts like Frenzied Panda. Violet Crystal for zombies like the 13th Grave. Book of Secret Arts for spellcasters like Flame Manipulator. Power of Kaishin for Aqua like Turtle Tiger. Dark Energy for fiends like Trial of Nightmare. Laser Cannon Armor for insects like Kumutoko. Vile Germs for plants like Dark World Thorns. Silver Bow and Arrow for fairies like Ray and Temperature. Dragon Treasure for dragons like Lesser Dragon. Electro Whip for thunder like Tripwire Beast. Mystical Moon for beast warriors like Hitotsume Giant. Machine Conversion Factory for machine like Steel Ogre Grotto No. 1. Raise Body Heat for dinosaurs like Mammoth Graveyard. And Follow Wind for wing beasts like Tyhone. Among these equip spells, the best are Follow Wind for Skull Redbird, Power Kaishin for Aquamador, which will make a higher defense than Giant Soldier of Stone, and Dragon Treasure for Curse of Dragon and Blue Eyes White Dragon. The 300-point increase in attack and defense is only small if we compare it to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But at the time, 300 points might be the difference maker. For instance, an attacking Curse of Dragon equipped with Dragon Treasure can destroy a defending Giant Soldier of Stone. Aside from equip spells, field spells can even boost the attack and defense points. The first 4 of the 6 field spells in the set are all simple and can just be summarized as: all specific monster types on the field gain 200 attack and defense points. Forest is for insects, beasts, plants, and beast warriors, like Beaver Warrior. Wasteland is for dinosaurs, zombies, and rocks, like Urabi. Mountain is for dragons, wing beasts, and thunder, like Trihorn Dragon. Sogen is for warrior and beast warrior, like Succubus Knight. Beast warriors benefit from either forest or Sogen. The other 2 of the 6 field spells are like these 4, but with the additional effect that makes another different monster type lose 200 attack and defense points. Umi makes all fish, sea serpent, thunder, and aqua monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense points. In addition, it also makes all machine and pyro monsters on the field lose 200 attack and defense points. Yami makes all fiend and spellcaster monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense. In addition, it also makes all fairy monsters on the field lose 200 attack and defense points. That makes Spirit of the Harp lose defense from 2000 to 1800 due to Yami. Among these 6 field spells, Umi card is the only one that became an archetype later on. Aside from boosting the stats of your monsters, these are other ways to deal with your opponent through other normal spell cards from the booster set. Cards that damage your opponent include Sparks, deals 200 points, Hinotama, deals 500 points, and Final Flame deals 600 points. Cards that increase your life points are Red Medicine that gains 500 points, and Goblin Secret Remedy gains 600 points. Other spell cards available for duelists are Gravedigger Goal lets you remove from the game an opponent's monster in the graveyard. Remove Trap lets you destroy a trap card from the field. Fissure, which lets you destroy the opponent's monster with the lowest defense points. Stop Defense helps you deal with an opponent's monster in the defense position by changing them into attack position. This is to handle monsters such as Giant Soldier of Stone. There are only 3 trap cards in the set. 2 are normal trap cards, and the other one is a continuous trap card. Two-pronged attack makes you destroy your 2 monsters to destroy one of your opponent's monsters. Trap Hole destroys a summoned monster with 1000 or more attack points. And Dragon Capture Jar is a continuous trap card that changes all face-up dragon-type monsters on the field to defense position. Additionally, they cannot change their battle position. Back row mind games, even though existent, are not that prevalent compared to the later releases. With all these cards in the set, the ones considered valuable are Skull Redbird, due to its high attack points, doesn't require any tribute to be summoned. Giant Soldier of Stone is a great defender of your life points due to its high defense points. Man-Eater Bug destroys any opponent's monster. But nothing is more valuable than the 6 cards that define the meta of the game. You'll need these cards in your deck to compete at the time. Dark Hole destroys all monsters on the field. Raigeki is the better version of Dark Hole. It only destroys all monsters on your opponent's side. Swords of Revealing Light is a good stalling card that prevents your opponent's monsters from attacking you for 3 turns. It also flips up all defense position monsters on your opponent's side. Monster Reborn allows you to summon one monster from either graveyard as a special summon. Card Destruction, discard hand and draw the same card that got discarded. It is the first milling card and at the same time, the first card that lets you put another card from your hand into the graveyard immediately. This is the card that can stop your opponent from completing all the Exodia parts that time. And the most iconic card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is most popular with some people who don't even play the game. Pot of Greed. Pot of Greed is analogous to the notorious Magic the Gathering card Black Lotus, an overpowered, retroactively forbidden card but repeatedly referenced later by creating nerfed counterparts. It appears in the anime series many times, in which its activation is often followed by an explanation of its effect, despite its oversimplicity.
I play the magic card Pot of Greed. It allows me to draw 2 cards from my deck.
I'll play this, my Pot of Greed, a magic card that allows me to draw 2 more cards from my deck.
Pot of Greed lets me draw 2 cards.
Pot of Greed lets me draw 2 cards from my deck.
And I activate the spell card Pot of Greed. This lets me draw 2 cards. And I play Pot of Greed. This lets me draw 2 cards from my deck.
Huh. Don't mind if I do. I play Pot of Greed. This spell card allows me to draw 2 new cards from my deck.
Even the live audience reaction adds spice to it.
First, I activate Pot of Greed. This card lets me draw 2 cards from my deck.
Dark Hole, Raigeki, Swords of Revealing Light, Monster Reborn, Card Destruction, and Pot of Greed. These power spells are so powerful not only during the time but also in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! When they are not forbidden, you can expect to see them in many decks. What were some of the competitive decks when Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon was released? When the Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon was released, there are no limited lists yet. Some of the best cards to include in deck construction are 3 copies of Pot of Greed, X number of Raigeki, X number of Dark Hole, X number of Swords of Revealing Light, X number of Monster Reborn, X number of Card Destruction, X number of Man-Eater Bug, X number of Giant Soldier of Stone. The types of deck can be centered around the following. Exodia Instant Win Deck, which focuses on helping you to gather all the parts of Exodia. Since there is no limited list, it is up to the player how much of each part can be added to the deck. This deck is cautious against card destruction. Skull Redbird Beatdown is the deck that doesn't have any monster level greater than 4. Cards may include Follow Wind and Mountain. Curse of Dragon Beatdown is the deck that has your Curse of Dragon be the strongest monster. Cards may include Dragon Treasure and Mountain. Reaper of the Cards and Remove Trap are included in the side deck to counter Dragon Capture Jar. Blue Eyes White Dragon Beatdown relies heavily on having to discard Blue Eyes White Dragon to special summon it from the graveyard. So there are 3 card destruction cards for discarding and 3 Monster Reborn cards. Reaper of the Cards and Remove Trap are included in the side deck to counter Dragon Capture Jar. This deck is cautious against Grave Digger Gold. The Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon's Impact. The first booster for any TCG is historic, and the Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon is no exception. It transformed Yugi and Kaiba anime fans into duelists. The set introduced us to normal trap cards, continuous trap cards, normal spell cards, normal monsters, effect monsters, flip monsters, and fusion monsters, as well as cards that damage the opponent's life points and gain you life points. Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician, Flame Swordsman, Gaia the Fierce Knight, Red Eyes Black Dragon, and Umi are the cards that not only reminded us of the anime, but also became the basis for archetypes in the later set, with the Blue Eyes archetype winning the 2016 Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship. Skull Redbird and Curse of Dragon are the first bit sticks. Exodia became the first card and most popular to have the alternative win condition even until now. Hane Hane is the first card to have the mechanic of returning a monster to the hand. Man-Eater Bud and Giant Soldier of Stone, and the 6 power spells Dark Hole, Raigeki, Swords of Revealing Light, Monster Reborn, Card Destruction, and Pot of Greed had the most impact coming out of this booster set. Definitely, the Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon is a legend. What do you guys think? Let me hear your comments. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share this video, and watch other videos from this channel. Next up, the cards going to Metal Raiders.